Some of the greatest discoveries in human history weren't planned. They were stumbled upon by farmers, kids, construction workers, and shepherds by pure accident. From ancient Egyptian tombs to long-lost cave paintings, today we're going to be talking about 10 ancient discoveries that were found by accident. Let's jump right in. Imagine digging a well to find water and instead uncovering an army that's been waiting for over 2,000 years. In March of 1974, farmers in China's Shaanxi province were struggling through a drought and digging a well near the city of Xi'an. As their shovels struck hardened earth, they began pulling up fragments of what looked like broken pottery, but these weren't ordinary shards. They were actually pieces of sculpted human faces, torsos, and bronze weapons. Local officials were alerted and archaeologists quickly realized the farmers had stumbled onto something monumental, the outer edge of the Terracotta Army, buried beside the mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang, China's first emperor. Further excavation revealed an underground complex spanning nearly 8 square kilometers. Thousands of life-size clay soldiers stood in strict military formation, complete with infantry, archers, cavalry, generals, horses, and chariots. Each soldier was originally painted in bright colors and armed with real bronze weapons. What shocked researchers most was the individuality. No two faces are exactly the same. Hairstyles, armor styles, facial expressions, and even ear shapes differ, suggesting that these figures have been modeled after real soldiers. The scale of labor required was staggering. Historians estimate that hundreds of thousands of workers spent decades constructing the tomb complex. The discovery rewrote what we know about ancient Chinese organization, craftsmanship, and imperial power. And to this day, much of the emperor's main tomb remains sealed, with reports of mercury rivers beneath it, meaning the Terracotta Army may only be the beginning. Who would have thought that one careless rock throw would change our understanding of ancient religion forever? In 1947, a Bedouin shepherd named Muhammad Ed-Dihib was searching the cliffs near the Dead Sea for a lost goat. Hoping to scare the animal out of hiding, he tossed a stone into a small cave opening. Instead of a bleeding goat, he heard the unmistakable sound of pottery shattering. Inside the cave were tall clay jars, some still sealed, containing ancient scrolls wrapped in linen. At first, the shepherd had no idea what he had found. The scrolls were eventually sold to antiquities dealers before scholars realized their immense importance. Known today as the Dead Sea Scrolls, the collection includes over 900 documents written roughly between 300 BCE and 100 CE. They contain some of the oldest surviving copies of books from the Hebrew Bible, along with religious rules, hymns, and previously unknown texts from a Jewish sect believed to be the Essenes. Before this discovery, the earliest known biblical manuscripts dated to around 10th century AD. The scrolls prove that these sacred texts had been preserved with astonishing accuracy for more than 1,000 years. The accidental find revolutionized biblical scholarship, deepened our understanding of early Judaism, and provided critical context for the origins of Christianity. A Roman city vanishes in disaster and re-emerges nearly 17 centuries later. In 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius violently erupted, burying the Roman cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum under layers of ash and pumice. The sudden burial preserved buildings, streets, and even people exactly as they were at the moment of disaster. In 1599, workers digging an underground water channel accidentally uncovered walls covered in frescoes and Latin inscriptions. However, the discovery wasn't fully understood, and the site was reburied. It wasn't until 1748 that systemic excavations began under the Kingdom of Naples. Archaeologists soon realized that they weren't just finding ruins, they were uncovering an entire Roman city that was frozen in time. Pompeii revealed astonishing details of everyday Roman life. Bakeries with bread still in the ovens, graffiti on walls, political slogans, taverns, brothels, and luxurious villas. Plaster casts of victims captured people in their final moments. Families were huddled together, hands were shielding their faces. No other site has provided such an intimate, unfiltered look at ancient daily life. Pompeii transformed archaeology from treasure hunting into a scientific study of past civilizations. A lost dog led to finding artwork older than civilization itself. In September 1940, 4 teenage boys were exploring the countryside near Montiac, France, when their dog disappeared down a hole in the ground. As they widened the opening to rescue it, they uncovered the entrance to a vast underground cave system. What they found inside stunned the world. The walls and ceilings of the cave were covered in more than 600 painted animals and thousands of engraved figures. Bulls, horses, deer, bison, and abstract symbols rendered with incredible precision and movement. These paintings became known as the Lascaux cave paintings. Scientists dated the artwork to roughly 17,000 years ago during the Upper Paleolithic period. The artists used mineral pigments, charcoal, and sophisticated techniques like shading, perspective, and contouring, skills that were once believed impossible for early humans. This discovery shattered the idea that prehistoric people were intellectually primitive. Instead, it revealed complex symbolic thinking, ritual behavior, and artistic mastery. Sadly, human breath and artificial lighting began damaging the paintings, forcing authorities to close the cave to the public. Today, though, exact replicas allow visitors to experience what was found by pure chance. In 1799, during Napoleon Bonaparte's campaign in Egypt, French soldiers were reinforcing Fort Julien near the town of Rosetta when they uncovered a black stone slab embedded in a wall. The stone was covered in inscriptions written in 3 scripts: Ancient Greek, Demonic Egyptian, and hieroglyphics. While hieroglyphics had remained undeciphered for over 1400 years, scholars could still read the Greek. This made the Rosetta Stone the key to finally translating the language of ancient Egypt. In the years that followed, linguists, most famously Jean-François Champollion, used the stone to crack the hieroglyphic code. Suddenly, temple walls, tomb inscriptions, and monuments across Egypt could be read for the very first time. The accidental find transformed Egyptology overnight, turning mysterious symbols into readable history and resurrecting the voices of a civilization long thought silent. In 1939, Edith Pretty, the owner of an estate in Suffolk, England, became curious about a series of large mounds of earth on her land. She hired an amateur archaeologist named Basil Brown to investigate it. What Brown uncovered was the ghostly imprint of a 90-foot-long wooden ship buried beneath one of the mounds. Inside was a treasure trove of gold jewelry, ceremonial weapons, armor, silverware, and intricate metalwork. The burial is believed to belong to an Anglo-Saxon king, most likely King Raedwald of East Anglia, dating back to the early 7th century. The era had often been called the Dark Ages and assumed to be culturally primitive. Sutton Hoo proved the opposite, revealing advanced craftsmanship, long-distance trade, and a rich warrior culture. In 1901, Greek sponge divers sheltering from a storm began exploring a shipwreck off the island of Antikythera. Among statues and pottery, they recovered corroded bronze fragments that initially seemed insignificant. Closer examination revealed something astonishing: a complex system of interlocking gears. Modern X-ray imaging revealed over 30 precision-cut gears, a level of mechanical engineering previously thought impossible for the ancient world. Often described as the world's first analog computer, the mechanism forced historians to completely rethink the technological sophistication of ancient Greece. In 1911, American historian Hiram Bingham was searching for the last stronghold of the Inca Empire when local farmers guided him up a steep mountain ridge in the Andes. There, hidden beneath thick jungle vegetation, stood Machu Picchu, a remarkably preserved Inca city abandoned centuries earlier. Although indigenous locals were aware of the ruins, Machu Picchu had been unknown to the outside world. Its accidental reintroduction reshaped global understanding of Inca engineering, astronomy, and urban planning. Today, it stands as one of the most iconic archaeological sites on Earth. The oldest known temple was hiding in plain sight. For decades, farmers in southeastern Turkey noticed large carved stones while plowing their fields. The site was dismissed as medieval rubble until archaeologist Klaus Schmidt examined it in 1994. Gobekli Tepe completely overturned established history. It suggested that organized religion may have existed before settled farming, possibly driving the creation of civilization itself. It is now considered to be one of the most important archaeological discoveries ever made. In November 1922, archaeologist Howard Carter was on the verge of giving up after years of unsuccessful searching in Egypt's Valley of the Kings. Then, while clearing rubble left by ancient workers, his team uncovered a stone step leading downward. At the bottom was the sealed tomb of King Tutankhamun, nearly intact, a rarity among ancient royal burials. The discovery offered an unprecedented look at ancient Egyptian burial practices and sparked global fascination with Egyptology. It remains the most famous archaeological discovery in history, found only because Carter refused to stop digging. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and comment which discovery shocked you the most, because the next world-changing discovery might still be waiting.